So how are you, Emily? Thank you for
Doing
joining us.
good. Just wrapping up the year. So we've got a
Oh
couple
yeah,
of big basketball jobs we're trying to get out before we go on Christmas break. And I think we're not working pretty much at all next week. Christmas on a
nice.
Wednesday is kind of weird. Like we've got
No,
Monday is like a normal day, but then Tuesday's Christmas Eve. So
it's flown by. I'm like, are you serious? It's already a week away. I
mhm.
can't believe that.
It
So
like snuck up on me this year. I did good with my wrapping
most definitely.
presents. I'm pretty much done
Oof,
wrapping. So
not me. I'm the opposite. I haven't wrapped a single. So
that's how I usually,
wish me
but I
luck.
got ahead of it this year.
I know. I end up doing it like the night before. It's not a good practice. So
Same.
that is gonna be fun, but the holidays are great. I know most people have a little bit of time off during this time, so hopefully everybody's enjoying that.
Hmm.
Okay, I think we can go ahead and get started. So, for those of you who do not know, I am Stevie. I'm with the PhotoDay team, and today we're going to be talking to Emily Davis from Click Studios. Emily and I met back in 2020. So during COVID times, everything was, kind of at a halt. But something about Emily that's always been amazing to me is just her business mentality, and her, motivated attitude. So I did get the chance to attend her workshop, Do It Different, as well, that she did with Rose Coleman in 2023. And the education that she offered there was next level. So I'm excited to give you guys a peek at what she's offering education wise now. Emily, thank you so much for joining us. And one more thing. So if you guys have questions for Emily along the way, just make sure to put them in the Q&A section of the chat. That way we can kind of keep track. And we will touch on all questions, I think, at the end of the interview. So you can use the regular chat and, hold conversations, comment, all of that stuff. Please chat with us. But if you have questions you want her to answer, throw it in Q&A. All
Woohoo!
right. Okay. So I'm going to turn the slides off so you can kind of see us, and then let's get into it. Okay. So give us a little bit of background. What did you do before you found photography and got started with that?
So I went straight from high school. I live in the Dallas area, and so
Okay.
high school in Dallas, and then I went out to Lubbock for Texas Tech, which is like West Texas, and I was a music education major. Thought I was going to be like a
Wow.
choir director. Wanted to do high school choir because that is what I had
Okay.
done in high school. Um, and kind of like got into that junior year.
Hmm.
We started like going into the schools and talking to the teachers and like actually doing the job of choir
Right.
director in a lot of like our practicum classes.
Hmm.
And I didn't love it. I just didn't
No.
love the idea of like being under administration and like having to kind of have a lot of red tape and a lot of rules I had to follow.
Right.
Not a big rule follower. So I at the time was about to get engaged, and so I was
Okay.
kind of planning my own wedding low key, but I was doing a lot of like looking online at pictures of like what
Hmm.
I wanted my wedding to look like and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And this was before Pinterest. This was like 2010 ish.
Okay.
um, and so I was thinking maybe I want to be a wedding planner. So I
Wow.
started reaching out to a bunch of wedding planners all over Lubbock, and I was like, "Hey, I want to come and like work for you. I'll work for free. I just, I want to like get into the wedding industry out here in Lubbock, and then I'm leaving. So like, I'm not going to be your competition. I just want to work with you, see if I like it, so that I can go back to Dallas and start me a
Right.
business after I graduate." Well, zero of them emailed me back and said that I could come and work for them for free. And so like, I was looking a little bit farther into what am I going to do? And I
Right.
realized all of the pictures that I was looking at and like
Hmm.
really obsessing over the pictures. It was from
Hmm.
photographers' blogs. So I started reading photographer blogs and found Jasmine Starr and Caitlin James and a whole bunch of the other like wedding crew. Um,
Right.
Bought a camera off Craigslist in a Walmart parking lot, taught myself photography, and launched a wedding career. And so I
That
did
is awesome.
that from 2010 until 2017. Shot my very last wedding September of 2017 when I was pregnant with my daughter. Already had my son the year before. So with 2 babies and not really wanting to work weekends anymore and just kind of wanting to have a more flexible schedule on the weekends, I started shooting preschools. So started with my own church and then grew it up to where I had about 60 preschools twice a year, had a couple of like 1099 associate photographers who would work with me. And some of those girls are still with us today, still shoot our preschools. We don't have 60 anymore because we've let some of them fall off now that we're really doing sports, but still have a good preschool subgenre that we do in studios. So then COVID happened. So in 2020, I did 1 preschool in March. COVID started, wiped off, all of the rest of my income from that spring. And then it started to get towards like May, June. And I was like, even if we go back to school in the fall, my preschools are probably not going to allow outside vendors. Like, it's not like we were shooting yearbook at a public school. It was like little preschools at a church. Like, they were just going to say, we're not having pictures this year.
Right.
And so I kind of started panicking and found Jay Boatwright's boot camp. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to learn sports, because in Texas, we were playing baseball. They said, it's outside, May, whatever. Like, we're doing baseball, we're doing tournaments, we're doing it just like we always do. So went there, learned how to shoot sports, had never shot a sport ever in my life. I didn't play sports growing up. Like, I did dance and choir and theater, and I was a fine arts girly, not a sports girly. So I had to learn a lot about kind of just like the mechanics of how it all works.
The technicalities.
I was telling Stevie earlier, I shot my first baseball league and kind of just went straight into that. Like, didn't shoot like a baseball team or anything. I booked a league and was like, okay, I'm going to shoot a baseball league. And
first.
The little girl who was posing for me, she was a senior in high school, and we got to our first left-handed kid, and she was like, what do you want me to do? Because we're having him face this way. And I was like, oh, it's fine. Just like do him like he's a righty. And she was like, no, you cannot do that. I was like, yeah, put the glove on his other hand. You can't do that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that at the time. So I got a introduction from the School of Hard Knocks on how sports go. And then just kind of built it from there. So I was doing it by myself at first. That lasted about a year, and then brought on my studio manager, Cameron. About a year after that, brought on my sales manager, Kelsey. They're both still with me. Cameron's been with me 3 years now, Kelsey 2 years, and then Deja is our main photographer. She's been with us for 2 years. And we've got Tara, who assists in the office on editing and office admin stuff, and she's been with us a couple months now. So we're moving forward.
Yeah, you have an awesome team. I know I've met Cameron before, but I mean, I think it's a testament that, to your business, that you have longtime employees that have been with you since the beginning. So what were you doing when you first started, sales wise, and what made you want to go online with your photography business?
So I didn't even like dip my toes into the volume waters until 2014. And that's when I shot the first preschool with my own little church. And they had probably 50 kids at the time. And I did paper order forms just for that one. So we sent them home before picture day, and or I think maybe I sent out a flyer before picture day that just said, this is what the prices are going to be. And then took the pictures, edited them, ordered real prints, like from Miller's. I didn't even know there was like draft prints or, like proof prints or whatever. So I just ordered like 3.5 by 5 prints from Miller's, stuffed the bags individually myself, went, gave the order form, sent them home with the parents. And then I think I went back like 3 or 4 or 5 times to gather order forms. I was burning CDs for like all digitals.
Real old school.
So real old school.
Oh my gosh.
And just did that one semester and was like, I am never doing this again, because I was having to order from the lab. I was having to like self-fulfill and then take them back up to the preschool. And if you had a late order, well then like that wouldn't work, because I couldn't just get the lab to ship it. It was all on me. So that next semester, I kind of like hacked a way to do it in Pixie Set. And that's what we did for a really long time, was put all the pictures on Pixie Set, but they're not set up for sports or schools, really.
Right.
They're really more set up for like portrait and wedding photographers, where they're just offering the normal size prints, canvases, albums, stuff like that, but no specialty products. And so we did that for a while. And it worked, but it didn't work as seamlessly as PhotoDay. It didn't. It wasn't built for volume photography, and so
it's like individual galleries too. Yeah.
So at Boatwright Boot Camp in 2020, that was where I met you, and that was where I learned about PhotoDay for the first time. And at first, we were only using it for private galleries, because Pixie Set completely did not give us an option for private galleries. So we were going to PhotoDay for that. And then just kind of as we've evolved, we were doing kind of like half Pixie Set, half PhotoDay through the end of 2023. And in 2024, back to kind of the systems and processes of, we have to do the same thing every time, the same way.
Right.
That's how we're going to get the most efficiency out of my employees, out of our time, out of everything. And so we've just jumped off the cliff fully into PhotoDay this year. And y'all will see soon like some actual data of we are making more than the 10%, way more than the 10% that PhotoDay charges to have your gallery.
Yeah. So it's totally worth it. We do have some really good data. So you said you found PhotoDay through boot camp, and you guys have slowly kind of built your way all the way on. And I think you mentioned consistency. I think that's just so important. Like, for your employees, for your end customers, like just to know what to expect. So that is a great tip. Now I'm going to pull up those slides now that have the data on there. So give me 1 second.
And just from like a business owner perspective and like a teaching perspective, at Click Studios, I make most all of like the resounding business decisions. Like Cameron makes a lot of the day-to-day decisions, but I'm involved in all of the how we going to do this on a grand scale decisions. And I'm extremely data driven when it comes to making decisions. Like, I don't like emotional decisions. I don't like going off of like, well, we think maybe the parents will feel blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know what the parents are going to feel. Give me hard data to look at. And so when we fully switched to PhotoDay, we didn't have a whole lot to go off of with like Pixie Set and PhotoDay. If we had done Pixie Set with a league, in the past, we had pretty much kept doing it on Pixie Set. And if we started on PhotoDay, we had kept them on PhotoDay. So I didn't have a whole bunch to compare and contrast until the end of this year. And I was able to find several jobs that we've been doing years and years and years on Pixie Set, comparing 2023 on Pixie Set to our 2024 numbers on PhotoDay. And all of the stuff that you're about to see, roughly the same amount of kids, roughly the same amount of like shooters and labor hours and everything, but a lot higher percentage of overall revenue. Yeah,
this stuff, this is, the results kind of speak for themselves here. So our team was able to put together some visualizations of Emily's results on Pixie Set and then PhotoDay. It's really cool when you sell online in general. Like, I worked for a studio that used paper order forms. It's like you can't even like really get the data. And I think data is so important over everything else. Like, hearing parents chatter and this and that, like, the data is most important. So, all right. So first slide, you want to talk a little bit about these jobs. This is, football and cheer, dance, youth softball.
So the football cheer, that one is for sure our hometown football and cheer association. And they have not grown a whole bunch, a little bit of growth every year, but it's generally the same as it has been since I started shooting them in 2021. And we had a 17% growth from fall 2023 to fall of 2024. Pretty dang good. And I can probably contribute most of that one to the retargeting that PhotoDay has built in.
Hmm.
So them getting those text messages versus when we were doing it with Pixie Set, all we could do is if the parent had signed in to the Pixie Set gallery,
Hmm.
because we would put like enter your email to enter the gallery. So they had to give
Hmm.
us an email address. Was it their
Right.
actual email address? Did they just use e@e.com, which is what I use for my throwaway email
Right. It
address?
doesn't validate it. Right.
Right. So we didn't know
Yeah.
for sure that we were even getting the correct email addresses
Right.
when they were doing it at sign in. And so really all we could do is just download that CSV and send out burst emails, kind of as needed, but it was all manual.
Wow.
We were having to send those out. So that took labor hours of my employees,
Hmm.
like the time to figure out how to do it every time. And like, when are we going to do that? It was just a lot on our plate and it wasn't that effective anyway. And
Right.
with PhotoDay, they validate the phone number
Hmm.
and getting a text where it's
Yes.
like, I'm in the car line, let me just go ahead and do this, versus an email where
100%.
like, am I sitting down at my computer? Like, is it an easier experience on mobile or on desktop?
Right.
I can tell you for sure, Pixie Set is not, it is not better on mobile than it is on desktop. PhotoDay, I kind of
Okay.
almost think it is better on mobile
Oh,
than it is
for
on desktop.
sure.
So
I can agree with that.
just making it really, really accessible to the parents, and then also having the QR code where most of our work is league kind of stuff where the
Hmm.
parents will be there with their child. And so we've just got those QR codes everywhere at the front door, at the drop off station. If parents are like sitting on the bleachers, we've got it on the bleachers, so that hopefully they will scan that code or do, the code to 90738.
Right.
We just usually do the QR code, and then we're getting their numbers from that. So like the retargeting is really, it's the tool for PhotoDay. It's the thing that
Absolutely.
makes the difference.
Yeah. I mean, we've spent, time figuring out what the cycle is and when to, notify parents. It really is great and you don't have to do anything. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, text messages. I mean, as a parent myself, like I check my email like once a week and there's like 100 marketing emails in it also. So like texts are super direct. And then the opting in process is, it's just one step for the parents. So that's a huge
Mm-hmm.
deal.
Another thing is as we were making the decision to fully switch over,
Hmm.
with Pixie Set, we were only selling prints and digitals, and that was it. And then we had a
Okay.
bunch of novelty items on our PhotoDay that we were using the private galleries for, and we had kind of switched over to some of our newer leagues using PhotoDay.
Hmm.
And one of our deciding factors was, are parents really purchasing the novelty items, or do we just have them there but nobody's really getting them, they're just getting prints? And so we
Right.
downloaded the CSV of that export, and
Hmm.
yeah, they're buying the novelty
Right.
items like crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah, that report is super helpful. I mean, if anybody hasn't looked, if they're selling on PhotoDay and they haven't looked at what they're selling, under the reports tab, under products, it'll tell you like how many of each item you're selling. I think that's a great way to like refine your pricing, figure out what to put in packages. So yeah.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. I mean, do you have like a product that people buy the most that's a specialty item?
We sell a lot of memory mates. We have a memory mates
Right.
package, and then we sell memory mates at an increased price, a la carte. And I feel like we have our
Certain.
pricing kind of like nailed down really well
Hmm.
with PhotoDay. We did a lot of, going back and forth between me, Kelsey, and Cameron of like, what would we want as parents, but also
Right.
what does the data suggest of what we
Hmm.
sold in the past? What do people want? Because when you have parents coming at you in an email, or you're just in casual conversation
Hmm.
with people in your town who maybe you've shot their kid, they can
Hmm.
say whatever they want. And usually the unhappy
Right.
parents are going to be the loudest. But
Exactly.
if you look at the hard numbers, which it's very easy to do with the PhotoDay exports to see, I mean, you can sort it into so many different categories to see like, what are we selling the most of product wise? What do we have on there that nobody's ever bought? Like, let's
Right.
uncomplicate and get rid of those items. Um,
Absolutely.
so just lots of data to be looked at and to be had with the PhotoDay system.
Yeah, super cool. So, all right, here's the other set of graphs. So, again, just showing results across the board, increased. So,
Yep. So baseball and softball, a 17 and a 52% increase. You just like general youth sports, 33% on whatever job that was. Youth basketball, we've almost got 3 seasons worth because it was early 2023, early 2024, and then we're about to have early 2025. So I'm very interested to see from the early 2024 jobs to the early 2025 jobs, how much percent growth we go up,
Right.
Even just being with PhotoDay. And also youth basketball versus like a baseball, softball, well, maybe not because that's spring, but like a football cheer job, if we shot it at the end of 2023 and then we just shot it in 2024 in like October with the retargeting, I mean, we'll get orders from a year ago where we shot the job and put it out a year ago, and then we just put the text message out. We'll send a manual one where we're sending it out to just like every job we've ever done, because why not? And we'll get random orders. We'll have a $10,000 weekend.
Right. Yeah, and it's cool that all the galleries kind of stack up. Once you start using PhotoDay season over season, they're going to stay in the customer's account. So that is awesome. And then you can keep comparing from there. I mean, once you're using PhotoDay, more and more people are going to become, educated on the process. So yeah. Okay. So this was great. Let's switch gears, and I'm going to turn the slides back off so we can be big again. So, you gave us the background. It seems like you kind of, in some way have always had a passion for education. So why don't you give us the background on, how your journey with education in this industry started? Do you just have a passion for teaching and that inspired you to, teach about having a photography business?
Yes, I really do. Especially teaching on the business stuff. Like, it just lights me up when people come to me with problems and they're like, especially the burned out photographer who's doing a couple $100,000 in revenue by themselves. And they're like, but do I really want to have to deal with an employee or employees? Is it really going to be worth it to scale my revenue up? Is my net going to come up with it? And here to tell you, it does. When you scale your revenue up, your net goes up and your amount of working goes down because you have people to be able to support you in that. You're putting jobs into your community. I mean, there's nothing bad to be had with getting employees. I think just where people fall into the trap is, well, I don't know if I really want to commit to like a full-time adult employee. Let me get this college student, or let me get this person who wants to work part-time for $15 an hour and blah, blah, blah. And then you're babysitting them. So a lot of the education that I do is on scaling. Because Click Studios was able to grow. Really, Click Studios as what it is today started in early 2021. And I hired my studio manager, Cameron, in October of 2021, and we just blew it up because in 2021, did I have the money to hire a full-time adult studio manager? Absolutely not.
Oof, that's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah, for sure.
But when you hire a studio manager or your first full-time adult employee, they can take so much stuff off your plate and make you able to sell. And so I knew that I was better used in the sales capacity than in the operations capacity. And so Cameron took over 1099 staffing our jobs, making sure that all the equipment was ready, making sure we had everything we need. He was doing editing and answering emails and doing kind of all of that like admin operation stuff so that I could go get us more jobs. I'm really, really passionate about prospect marketing, which is not traditional marketing where it's like, we're going to post on social media, we're going to run ads, we're going to do stuff and just hope that people come to us. We were targeting leagues and schools and preschools and dance studios, all of the clients who we wanted, and reaching out to them with information on, why are we better? What can we do for you? How will it improve not only your situation with the parents and not only like we'll give you a commission, stuff like that. But like
Mhm.
doing pictures with us, dance studio owner, will improve your life because we're going to
Right.
make this so easy for you. You're not going to have to do anything. We send you an email that's already written. You blast that out to your parents. So
Right.
just focusing a lot on like what differentiates Click Studios from the competition. Unfortunately, we're in Dallas, so I don't feel a lot of pressure on the competition. There's
Okay.
more than enough jobs out here for everybody. And
Yes. Well, that is super sweet. I think that's a great point about marketing. I mean, like the people, you need to go directly to the people that need to see it.
yes,
Putting it up is great, and it can be great for like word of mouth, but the right person is probably busy too. So
right.
going directly to them. Um, okay, so I know that you did do it different with Rose, and now you're doing a solo venture with Volume Vault. Do you want to tell everybody kind of the goal of Volume Vault, and then if you want to give some details about that?
Yes. So this past summer, I did an in-person workshop with Rose Coleman, and then we followed it up with like a 12-week kind of mastermind class that we
Right.
did weekly, and we talked about shooting and business and pricing and everything you'd want to know about just kind of like the inside look at Click Studios and Center Stage Photos, her business. And then the Volume Vault is focused way more on the business side, and it's going to kind of be two-pronged. The first one is a coaching program, and that's what I'm running right now. So all that information, if you go to thevolumevault.com, it will have you put in your email address, and then you'll get on my email list, and it will reroute you to the Volume Vault site. And it's a coaching program kind of just for anybody who is looking to get into the volume space and have that kind of be their main thing, or all the way up to somebody who's been in the volume space for years and years and years. You have employees, you want to improve streamlining your processes, efficiency, stuff like that. And it's very personalized. You get Marco Polo with me to talk to me at any time. Email is
Awesome.
open. We're going to have some group calls and stuff like that to focus on goals and how I can really help each individual make their goals happen. And so we've got several people in there right now. Some of them are just getting started. Some of them have been going for years, and they're just like, I need more work. I need to hire someone. Help me. And now's the perfect time as we go into 2025 to like be creating those goals and kind of get your two main topics that goals that you want to see happen in 2025, and just like go into the new year ready to kill it.
Well, that is so cool that it's like individualized. I think that is a huge value. I think Justin just put the link in the chat. So anybody who wants to check that out, Justin just sent the link.
And then let me say one more thing. So the other
Please.
prong of it is courses. So I'm going to have some online courses coming out. That was how I got into education in the photography genre anyway. Was I was shooting preschools, and I was in a couple of Facebook groups where people were asking a whole bunch of questions about preschool photography, but kind of there was nobody out there educating about it. So I made a preschool online course. It's still out there, but I'm kind of in the process of revamping it and re-recording it right now. I've also got another course that's coming soon called Book by Email that's all about prospect marketing via email. So that's going to be out soon in the first quarter of 2025, and just working on kind of getting all of that business stuff out there that I feel like we get so much education on how to shoot and not a whole lot of education on how to get the jobs.
Absolutely. I agree, especially with so many people, they're photographers, they love to do the photography part of it, but the business part can be hard. It's really hard to focus on both. So now you're also going to be talking at SPAC in Vegas this year. So PhotoDay will be there too. I am very excited. You guys will see me there. But what is your SPAC talk going to be about?
My SPAC talk, let me pull up the exact, I'm in Sonoma D from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Friday morning. So you got to get up early to see me. Don't be going out partying on Thursday night. Wait till Friday night. But the name of my class is Scaling with Systems, Click Studio's Blueprint for Success in Volume Photography. And I'm just going to be talking about how at Click Studios we stick to making the main thing, and how we systemize and make everything as efficient as we possibly can. We're not so focused on getting every dollar out of the client. I'd rather have more clients. You know what I mean? So we don't obsess over price sheets and like, are we charging, you know, we don't go back and do the price sheets a whole bunch. We reevaluate them once a year. And the rest of our energy is spent on getting the job, doing the job, and pushing the job out.
That is awesome. You guys are definitely a well-oiled machine. So I think that is going to be very informative. And you'll also be in our PhotoDay booth, I think.
And I will, at the trade show. I'll be hanging out with the PhotoDay crew, answering any questions and telling you all about PhotoDay and all that.
Sweet. Well, please come see us, anybody who is going to SPAC. And I have something else about SPAC. Let me grab my slides. Let's see. Okay, so we are going to have a PhotoDay users group event at SPAC. It's going to be Friday from 12:30 to 2:30 in the Palm Room. I think somebody's going to send a link in the chat so that you can reserve your spot for this. We're going to get together, you know, the PhotoDay team will be there and a bunch of different, you know, fellow users will be there. So that is going to be amazing. I'm like so excited for that. It's always great to see everybody and, you know, meet with our users that we talk to digitally every day. So secure your spot for that. There's the link. Now, before I get into the end, I do believe we have one question for you, Emily. So let's see. It says, and Brian kind of answered it, but let's go over it. So do you charge leagues or schools, or are you going like, you know, or parents only purchasing? And then do you give the leagues or schools a percentage of sales back?
So we do not charge any of our leagues or schools anything for regular T&I portraits. There's a few who we charge if they're wanting like media day, super special stuff, but that's kind of a whole different deal. So for regular T&I or regular yearbook, stuff like that, we're not charging anything to the league or the school or the organization. We come out on spec. That just means like we know that we're going to sell stuff.
Right.
We do have some limits that we impose. So like 60 kids is kind of about our limit. These days, it used to be 30 back when I first started. And I was just like, I need pictures to be able to promote this. I'd go out for a team. I'd go out for 2 kids. You know, you could do what you got to do in the beginning, but then as you grow, and as you have, you know, labor that you have to consider and factor in, 60 kids is about our minimum. And so for commission, we give it to them if they ask for it. Usually 10% is our limit, and Kelsey negotiates all that. She's the one who books everything and, you know, is talking to the contacts and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, typically 10% in Texas is what it takes to get the job if they're already getting a percentage from, you know, whoever they're switching over to us.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Well, do you want to go over anything else? Other than that, I think that is it. Sweet. Well,
it's going to be so fun. Come see us.
Seriously. I can't believe it's already here. Trade shows are the best. They are the best.
I love trade show season.
Me too. It is fun. Get through the holidays, and then I get excited about SPAC. So I got to get through that first. But as always, the PhotoDay team is here for you. So if you guys have questions, if you are super, super new and haven't tried anything out yet, please come find us in the bubble. You know, create your PhotoDay account, and then down in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our support chat where we can get you connected with somebody who can give you an onboarding. Also, if you're already using PhotoDay and you have, you know, questions or you want to go over things, we help with that as well. So please reach out to us. We are always there. And then, of course, the pricing of PhotoDay is listed here. And then if you guys, if you have any other questions, let me know. But included in the price is all these awesome features. So like Emily talked about, the marketing tools, the Capture app, the dashboard app, and tons of resources to get you guys started. So